Alright, you guys are making sounds happen. Turn on the sounds. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing, my lovely and wonderful skunks, punks? Now you're skunks now. Transformation beam. Is there anywhere else? I still need to post my link. I was going through my link posting. You No, you didn't break it. I just had it. I just had it hidden. But yes, it did say the things. I did hear overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer, and I did hear you go, "Hey, what does this button do? Oh God, oh fuck, I broke it." Thank you for the 6 months, Inglonious. Happy year. That's crazy. Thank you. How are you doing today? Hi, Drag. Have a nice lurk.
I'm gonna spook the skunk now.
You spooked the skunk. Alright, so yeah. We have a new redeem. I'm gonna spook the skunk, and if I set it up right, it will randomly pick an audio file from a folder based on edits you guys have made. And I will get random different cool stuff. I've also fixed my my shout out command, so now it puts the link in chat. I might change how it reads, but it's fine. Thank you for. I don't know why I got womp womp wide. Yeah, thank you for shouting out Mischief. What else did I fix? I'm
gonna spook the skunk now.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody. As always, if you guys think of more funny sound effects, if you guys think of more funny sound effects to go in there, let me know. Yeah, I fixed the hammer. I haven't fixed the head pad because even before stuff got nuked, I had lost a functional head pat GIF. So, need to still set that up. Theo, you were first. Mischief, thank you for the care package. We're gonna play more Stanley Parable today. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to do stream today since I'm starting so late. And I also don't know how much content is left in the Stanley Parable at this point. We can certainly go for... We've got 5 missing achievements, and other than the waiting for 10 consecutive years, we can try to get the other ones. Well, we can't... We also cannot play the Stanley Parable for the entire duration of a Tuesday. So that leaves speedrunning, a bunch of 8s, and the test achievement, which I believe involves rebooting the game a bunch of times. We'll figure that out at some point. 1 second. Did you miss the door knot achievement? The door knock achievement, yes. The door nodding achievement? I don't believe that's in this version. Realized there was a whole bunch of fucking dust near my keyboard. I really need to dust. How do I feel about the literally impossible achievement? I guess it depends on how literally impossible it is and which one you're referring to. If you're talking about the 10-year one, I'm not a fan. I get the idea. It's supposed to be a funny joke. It's supposed to be a double funny joke because the original game had a 5-year one. But it's very clear that this guy... I think it's funny. Stanley Parable clearly inspired, in some fashion, Slay the Princess. but they have exact opposite ethoses about achievement. This guy seems to be very against, or not like extremely against, but like he's got hangups about achievements and collectibles in video games. He thinks that a video game should be very narrative, should be very focused on the story. That's what Stanley Parable is about. It's about stories. Um, so all the achievements are shit stuff, absolutely crazy. Whereas Slay the Princess, very similar thing. It's a story about storytelling, and it gives you an achievement for every last fucking thing you do. Doorknob. I don't know about a doorknob. I've knocked on doors, but I don't know if I've done anything with a doorknob. Anyway, let's move over here. Up here, video game. Video game. There it is. So last time it told me that this time I could just put in my favorite time instead of whatever actual time it is. Uses the achievements for more for metrics than anything else. I think it's both. I think that they do use their metrics to get a strong vibe for what people are doing, but I do think that Black Tabby Games just like really enjoys like giving little achievements for things like that. I think they have fun with it. Scarlet Hollow is the same way. That could just be me guessing, of course. So, all right, what's my favorite time? I mean, the funny answer would be 420, which is actually relatively close to what time it is right now. Am I going to do the big Scarlet Hollow update on stream, or I'm going to do that off stream? I will be doing when a new chapter comes out. I'll be resuming my primary playthrough on stream at the very least. I might do some additional playthroughs, but I will at least stream the new chapter or chapters. Oh, jeez, hold on. I really need to dust. What's my favorite time besides 420? I mean, nothing else is jumping at me. I've got to put in 420, right? Ah, 4:20 p.m. Your favorite time of day. That's the sex hour. Or you simply not resist giving me the correct time again. After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. I split the difference. I chose a time I enjoy that's pretty close to what time it actually is. If I'd been fast enough, I could have made it exactly both. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 4:20 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 4:20 p.m.? I would say it is pretty accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I have a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. Good to collect data. Oh, now they're collecting my data. Wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. I mean, we could just immediately quit out and boot it up and check out these new options. Or we could continue with Stanley Parable 2 Ultra Deluxe. I wonder if there's something I can do to make it revert back to Ultra Deluxe. Why not? Let's see those new sliders. I'm excited for them sliders. I am the settings world champion after all. Developed by Cruise. Written by Davey Rendon. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn the brightness up because I prefer being able to see things in video games. Please adjust the slider until the dog and cat are friends. Meow. Very important. Please adjust the slider until the number 5 becomes the number 9. Number 9. Oh. Well, let's check what other 9s we have. A variety of 9s. That looks like an achievement. Well, they said until. And this is the first 9, right? This is the first 9. So this is the 9 we're going with. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. You got it, boss. Alright, the next, like, 2 hours is going to be this, and I expect a $5,000 hype train to be raised while I'm doing it.
Happy Monday, Myth. I hope you're having a good Pride Month.
Hi, Garden Possum. How are you? I am having a pretty good Pride Month so far. It's been pretty wild, but doing pretty good. My only regret about Pride Month this year is I haven't been able to afford to get any Pride art. But sometime soon, I'm gonna get art of Mivlia with a trans flag shield and her baseball bat, so that I can give the fashies bashies. This is the peak Miv content you pay for. You know it. You know it. Up. Don't get caught on the edge of the computer mouse. There we go. We need to keep adjusting the slider. It's very important. How about you, Garden Opossum? How are you doing? Thank you again for the 14 months. You do anything good for Pride? I think that will just about do it. Which of the 2 made-up words below is the most appealing to you? Occuboinkle, Scrumtush. You're good. You work weekends, so you can't do any daytime Pride stuff, but you're celebrating in your own ways. Yay! That's good. Good to celebrate in your own ways. Occuboinkle, Scrumtush. Occuboinkle, Scrumtush. Occuboinkle, Scrumtush. It's gotta be Occuboinkle. But not, like, super strong. Please don't adjust the slider. You got it, boss. You know what time it is right now? Yeah. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? I hope so. What is time anyway? You see, time is a tool you could hang on the wall or wear it on your wrist. The past is far behind us. The future doesn't exist. What's the time? 9:15. Time to have a bath. What do you mean we're already clean? Scrub, scrub, scrub till the water's brown. Shoot. Cannot remember the next line. It's been too long. I used to have all the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared songs completely memorized. I once got drunk and sang the computer song while throwing playing cards around a room. Anyways, no. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Oh, yeah, so many things. Oh, sure. What do you need, boss? Will you come back to visit me? Yeah. Hmm. Well, I mean, he said he needs help and he wants someone to come back and visit him, so I guess we're rebooting the game again. Excuse me. Trying to think of what time is it? Does anyone really truly know? I mean, it's okay, so if you're talking about the ways we label time, then yes, we know because we're the ones who label it. Although, how good any given accuracy for that is impossible to know because, again, we're the ones making the labels. Does that mean we're perfectly accurate? Which thing is the given accuracy? There's the atomic clock that would have to be perfectly accurate, right? Unless it somehow stopped following the rules we gave it. But in that case, do we change the rules? And if you're talking about unmeasured time, well then yeah, we know exactly what that is. Just any anything that is constantly happening is time. Anti-capitalist rant about time. Oh boy. You pulled an all-nighter and took a train to see a band, Sleigh Bells, earlier this month. It was amazing. Ah, hell yeah, that sounds really cool. And also seeing the band. Man, I wish we had cool trains all over the place. That'd be neat. I I love trains. Trains are cool. Anti-capitalist rant about time. Uh just sing the "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" song again. Time is a tool you can hang on the wall or wear it on your wrist. Past is far behind us. The future doesn't exist. What's the time? 9:15. Time to have a bath. Um, let's see, what can I say about time? I mean, um, obviously a lot of our man-made concepts of time exist the way they do because of the Industrial Revolution. You okay, babe? You need me to not do a rant? Okay. I love you. If you need me to not, that's okay. Uh, I think we're okay. She's not said anything else.
Rant against rants instead.
Rant against rants instead. Hi, Sammy. Thank you for the 33 months. That's crazy. Uh, well, let me at least get the thought that I had started out of the way. Uh, prior to the Industrial Revolution, uh, we kind of measured things a lot more broadly in seasons and time of day, and our much more persnickety clock based time was based around wanting to have workers there for long specific hours and wanting to pay exactly for what time they worked and what time they didn't work, and it's very bureaucratic in that way. um and I can't 100% say that things would be better if we were still on very loose time, because there are definitely certainly many benefits to having clocks. It makes it a lot easier to meet up with your friend and stuff like that. But when we didn't have precise time, we all went about lives a little bit slower, a little bit more our pace. So Rant against omnipotent narrators who mislead you and string you along. No, I love omnipotent narrators who mislead me and string me along. They're my favorite. I love them. I always get the good ending. Time isn't valued correctly under capitalism, in your opinion, and that's completely fair too. Although I would say that's more about, well, I mean, it is about time, but it's also about like labor. Does anyone really truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. You could have asked me more questions. Sure, I've adjusted all of the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. Now the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you I can. That's not true, Mr. Title Screen. I can give you so much of my personal data. I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. Neither of us knows what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. That's not true. There are so many multiplayer video games. The first major video game was Pong. 2 players. You like being alone, don't you? I like aspects of it. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Well, it's time for me to leave. There is still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little bit longer. May take a little time before I'm ready for that. Not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Talk soon. Oh, the epilogue. The fabled epilogue. Alright, let's go do it. Many, many years later. The end is never the end. Oh, hey! We're in the desert. Oh, which direction should we go? Let's go towards the sun. Never the myth? It's true. Made a nice fire. I've got a nice chair. Wow. I'm not allowed to burn myself. Wow. Oh, I don't like this. This plays on my fear. I'm sure nothing's gonna come through it, but I guess sandstorms can be added to the list of things that freak me out. That music was very loud. Hold on. Settings. Audio. No, okay. It's just intentionally very loud. Okay. Stay away from Miv Darude. Okay. We've returned after all these years. The memory house. I don't know why it took me so long to find the memory house. Someone set up a nice portable generator. Stanley Parable 2. Whee! Maybe I'll find another collectible Stanley minifig. Cookie Nine's blog, uncompromising gaming content, review the Stanley Parable 2. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with the sequel. Where the first game teamed with originality, the Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to the fan base. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even the diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, I found the bucket to be quite comforting, a welcome reprieve. What's this? Dogborn. We did it! By making them friends. Boop, boop. Oh, we're in 2027 now. Oh no. The buttons.
Jim.
Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception of the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developer to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It's clear that more Stanley Parables is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been further from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative vision. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Ah, the sorry cop route.
Jim.
The Stanleys! There's more of them. Give them to me. Yes. Ooh. Hello, Skip Kitty. Welcome in. How are you? This game sounds complicated. From what you've been told, it's just a walking sim. It's a narrative-driven game. I suppose you could call it a walking simulator. I've always found walking simulator to be a sort of dismissive title because generally those games you would call walking simulators are interactive stories, and Stanley Parable is supposed to be a very interactive story. Miv enjoys an infinitely deep hole. I do. I love the infinitely deep hole. Whenever you hear time, you always immediately start singing You and I Will Always Be Back Then. I don't know what song that is. Let's go. Hello again. It's nice to see you. Thank you, Mr. Settings Person. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense. We have no integrity. Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. And if people hate us, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. make this mistake. Don't cling to the legacy, let it burn. Not hard, in fact, let me show you. Together we're going to make the Stanley Parable 3. It's simple, all we need to do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. You got it, buddy. Have a nice lurk, Mischief. Stanley Parable 3, dealing with Temple of, in search of, revenge of the wacky. The end is never the equal pirate, cowboy, sunshine, birthday party, skeleton. The end is never the skeleton, birthday party, sunshine. The end is never the sequel. I think is the good title. Lurk. Oh, sorry, I didn't get lurk fixed. I guess of the many things I fixed, I forgot to fix lurk. Well, have a good lurk, Mischief. I'll make sure it gets a message written soon. Stanley Parable 3, the end is never the sequel. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1 and we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. No one lurks anymore. You have to be here forever. It's true. Once you log into my stream, you have to watch me until the end of time. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it. I don't want you to have a say as well. Sure. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. And you know what? Since you've put faith in the idea, I feel like giving you something as well. See, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? Give me the achievement. I need that. Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. Been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. Achievement machine's all fixed. See, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself forever. It must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Okay, there's one last thing we need to do. Please enter the current time. You got it, buddy. It's now. Oh, I need to go this way. 4. Nope. 4:55 p.m. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. No. Enjoy the Stanley Parable. Hooray! Wow! Alright, so I guess I need to go find the machine now.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Assuming the machine hasn't spawned somewhere in here. No, it doesn't seem to have done so. New content. This way.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable.
I know you
and
have.
about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark. Any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Sorry, buddy. I'm playing the Stanley Parable 3.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them.
Here's my achievement.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Where's my achievement? Yes, new free and easy achievement. Finally. Finally, I can have my achievement.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Huh? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement.
No,
yes.
don't bonk me.
You'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Alright. Mr. Settings Man says it's fixed. Ready? Are you all excited? Are you all ready for this? Yes. Yes.
As you can see, the machine is not working yet.
Yes.
Wait, what in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement? Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched? Oh, God. Composure, composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
Achievement! We did it, chat. We earned an achievement.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Trying to think if there's anything else to do in this ending/world. I think we should probably just off ourselves. You might need to play these. They're very silly. Very highly recommend. Yeah, let's just let's start over. Let's show Script Kitty an actual ending. You got us at kind of a weird time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's see. What if I bring the bucket with me to the explode everything?
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Game seems like it's a pile of weird times in a coated straitjacket. It is. It's very
Still no one was
interesting.
here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Come with me, bucket.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. New memory zone. Got the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. Now remembering content from long ago. Interesting.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yay,
Even now,
bucket.
in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the
Wow.
dark clouds of confusion.
You'd think by now I'd
chaos.
have this code
It would be
memorized.
with
I
him
can't remember it.
always. The bucket would, and he knew it.
Love you,
The
bucket.
two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845.
Guessed the
Someday
correct
I'll
code
remember.
by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
No, it's an empty bucket, but it has the potential to move liquids. It's our friend and lover and everything all at once. The bucket will show us the way.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
Concerned about the involved measurements of having a bucket for a lover?
Everything will be fine.
Just gotta
Stanley and the
get
bucket walked
creative.
straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah. Button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as
It's
Stanley
okay,
cradled
bucket.
it gently, reassuring it
It's okay.
that everything would be fine.
We're gonna get through this, bucket.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
No.
What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the
No.
bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I trust you, bucket. Everything's gonna be okay.
But here was the proof.
Oh,
The heart of the operation. Controls
This is
labeled with
corporate life, babe.
emotions.
It's
happy
true.
or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of
That
it
baby
monitored
boy.
and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his
Crazy.
past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way.
Hell yeah.
And the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Taking down the system. We're gonna take down the system. Take down the system. We're gonna take it down. Taking down the system.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power,
Unless-
Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Unless.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's
Oh my
plan
God.
all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Birds.
Silly birds.
Silly
The
birds.
control buttons became active again.
Oh. Why? Sure. Flamingos.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over
Yay.
the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Birds! Yay! The end. You don't comprehend this. So, this is my third stream of the game, Script Kitty. So, I'm getting into some of the even more niche and obscure stuff, and this game's already about the nature of choice. Gotta go wake up some more? Yeah, get yourself some coffee or some tea or an energy drink. Whatever you gotta do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What else haven't I done? No, hold on. There's a speedrun achievement. I'm not going to get that. I can't do the don't play for 10 years. I can't do the play for a whole Tuesday. The last one is a bunch of 8s, which I assume is just for hitting 8 a bunch. Gotta go adult? Yeah, no worries. Go do some adulting. We're gonna go mash the 8 button.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not
no
a
idea
single
how
person
hard
here
the
either. Feeling a wave
speedrun
of disbelief,
would be.
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, we're getting
Stepping into his
raided.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who
Hello,
orchestrated
Raiders.
this.
Hello,
What
Tipsy.
dark
How
secret was
are
being held
you?
from him? What he
How
could
are
not
you
have
doing?
known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk
Okay, hold
guarded
on.
the...
Shut up, narrator. Hello, Raiders. My name is Mivlia. I am the trans punk skunk extraordinaire. This is my venue. I'm a variety streamer. I stream whatever I want, whenever I want. And right now, we are making our way through the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I'm going to go for the last achievement that I think I can at this point in time. And then we're going to just keep knocking out the endings that I haven't seen yet. We're going to see everything that I think I haven't seen. What were you guys up to? Care package, thank you. I think my mods are all not quite here, so I'll shout you out myself. Ah, that new Elden Ring roguelike that everyone's been playing. A little bit of Guilty Gear and then Night Rain. I wish I was good at fighting games. I love the aesthetics of fighting games, but I cannot play a fighting game for anything. Well, I hope you guys had fun.
terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number.
Same.
2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, that's it? Well, I got the achievement. 350 hours and you're still a bad... Well,
Stanley just
assume you're
sat
better
around
than I
twiddling
am.
his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the
2,
device
8,
was useless,
4,
since he could
5.
never possibly... Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah. When I was a kid, we had Street Fighter 2, and we had this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fighting game for the SNES. And that was the one I really liked. I liked the
Stanley
Turtles
walked
game.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
No.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Alright, let's see what happens when I go back and forth. I've tried going back and forth here.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Nope. Changed my mind.
Still on board with death?
Yep. Rat time. Okay. Played Mortal Kombat when you were younger? Nice.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Turning back and forth. Anything new to say, narrator man? Nope. Okay. Back down the escape tunnel we go. I'm going to have to remember tonight at like
At this
midnight
point,
to
Stanley
boot
was
this
making
up and
a
just leave it
conscious,
going for a
concerted
day.
effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah. Neat. Whee! Hooray.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
Hell yeah.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Yeah.
Farewell, Stanley.
Bye.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Funny. Whee! The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Yeah.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Funny.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Wrong. He's neither dead nor alive. He is a video game. Fun. We've already explored this museum, although this is new. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. We had initially planned on use these further promotional materials has never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of these emails. Partner, I am Anthony Elias's business broker. Please partner with me with a very rewarding business venture, not spam. Hi, Mr. Narrator Guy. I have a question for you, sir. What is your message for today? There's a skeleton inside you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye. Yes. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I do not Why? How? Will this game feature capybaras? Unlike, welcome back, Drag. How are you? How do you stay in shape? I'm probably not gonna read all of these. Whoop. Are you gay? Hell yeah. You're feeling very. Well, as long as it's a lot. I guess I missed that whole hallway last time. Let's get out of here, and this time I'll do what the nice narrator lady says.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Oop.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
You don't think the bot would pick that up if you wrote it in one line, but those two messages
But
are
listen to
one
me.
continued?
You can still save
What do you
these
mean?
two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
You got it, lady. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think there's anything I can do for that. Commands have to be at the start of a message for them to trigger. Okay. But I get what you mean now. You feel very shout out. Okay. Something happened.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
This is the story all about how
Stanley
his
worked-
life got turned upside down.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
I'd
Stanley
like to take
decided
a
to go
minute.
to the
You
meeting
sit down,
room. Perhaps
James.
he'll
I'll tell you
send
how I
in Mr.
became the
Memo.
undisputed king of card games. Oh, you know what? Trying to think of all the things we haven't done before. We never answered the
When
phone.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Beep,
well.
beep, beep.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And oh, hi.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about.
His name
Please,
is John
stop
Cena.
trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
You
This
got
is
it, buddy.
Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Neri, welcome in. How are you? How's the greatest punk skunk? I'm doing pretty well. Doing anything for Pride this month?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another,
Nice.
then pick up the phone.
You got it, buddy. Reach out to her. She's calling you. You make a good point. Apartment 427.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
He's
Gotcha.
beautiful.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife
Yeah.
who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay, but can I kiss my beautiful wife? Hello, beautiful wife.
This is a very sad
Mwah.
story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Mwah. Good morning, employee 427. Press J on your keyboard. No. I have a wife. Or she lied to me about pulling the bread out of the oven. We don't have an oven. Wife, how could you lie to me? You cannot make bread in the microwave. Oh, wait. We have a range? But it has... Who built this? Is this an oven with the most confusing places to in the food? Or is this a range on top of some absolutely terrible drawers? Wife, we need a new apartment. Wife, you put a chair in front of the bedroom again. Babe, you know I'm incapable of making vertical movement. And the coffee table's not at a nice angle. How are we going to sit on the couch together and watch our TV? Babe, I know you like redecorating, but just this isn't going. We've got too much stuff. We gotta put our things where they'll fit. Okay, I think I've exhausted all of the funny ha-has I can get out of my beautiful wife and this horrible furniture. Is this the new home from working you've heard about? Yes, this is exactly it.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Neat.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Uh-oh. Babe, you redecorated again. Very quickly, somehow. Oh, let's watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Stanley, don't do that at work. Press J to spend some time with the boys. Hell yeah.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Press C to prepare dinner. Excuse me, wife. Excuse me, wife.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Press G to tell your kids a story. You got it.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Yeah. Okay. I love you, wife.
But there is no answer.
No, wife.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Silly narrator, you're the video game. I'm the real person.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this.
It's
Stanley,
funny.
the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okie dokie, boss. The end is never the end is never the end. Making my way downtown, downtown way, and I'm downtown. Doodly doodly doo. Boopy doopy 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 doo. Boopy boop. Video games. Boopy boop. Telling stories. Boopy boop. And I am running against the walls. Come on, video game. I'm doing what you told me to do. I'm not pressing the button. Give me a dialogue. Give me an option. Beep, boop, bop. What if I hit different buttons? Boop-a-da-bop-a-da-boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop-a-da-bop. Nope. We're forcing our way into this. Alright, if you've got nothing else to give me.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a
I
way
can
that he'll
hear you.
understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
A mirror, generally. Ask I to question nothing. Me.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Uh-oh, spaghettios. I guess that's that ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Have I gone every route I can? Without the bucket. I've answered the phone. I've not answered the phone. I've escaped. I've done both mind control options. I've leaped to my doom. Gone down the alternate path. I went through both the red and blue doors. What else? I think I've taken every path without the bucket.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket
Can I
in
go
his
back to
arms
the
again,
office?
he was home.
Back here.
Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek. Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Jump out the window here? Can I do such a thing? I would be happy to, Jack, but I don't believe I can. You saw vertical movement? Ah. Well, I mean, a little bit of vertical movement. 434's chair. Come on. There we go. There we go.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear. We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator.
Yay,
At last,
Bucket.
out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
Whoa.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans,
Neat.
and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim.
Neat.
The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking
What are you talking
He
about?
screamed.
You're a bucket!
You're a bucket.
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
Skunk it.
No, said the bucket. Not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was
Yes,
young
welcome
back
in.
then and could not conceive the ramifications of...
No.
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This
This is too big. You are a bucket.
This is so
This is so stupid. Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley
like the music.
screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket.
Hooray.
Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Otherwise,
cool.
we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
You can't tell me what to do. I don't know. He threw me into the shadow realm.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
There we go. Alright, time to do it. Sans bucket. Whee!
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then
Very
praised
smart.
the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game
So
structure
insightful.
and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
It's cooler
Why
with the
don't we
bucket.
take a minute just to drink it all in.
You got it.
Okay, I'm over
That
it
was
now.
fast.
What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Ah, then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different?
I assume it
Would
would have
I
restarted the
taken
game.
same idea, but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer?
That'd be cool.
How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky.
Well, no,
Well,
I'm Mivlia.
I've built
Lucky's
up
a
the other
different
options
streamer.
so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Thanks, boss. Sadly, we could not ask the bucket if it was sick of this gag. I don't know how the bucket feels about gags. Teehee. Ba-ba-bum, ba-bum-ba-bum-ba-bum-bum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum, ba-dum. Ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da-bum. Ba-da-ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-bum. Ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-da, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-bum. Let's
All of his co-workers were
fucking
gone.
go.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Nope.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At
they're not out here.
first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Beep.
Okay, I'm over it now.
Beep.
What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Oh. Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game
Beep.
any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then.
Beep.
Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Got it, boss. Let's go.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function.
Hooray.
Which is why he is in this parable
Rabble.
and lives an existence quite terrible.
That's a slant
And if you are
rhyme.
not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
I cannot be bared. Bow, bow, bow. Listening for that loop. Can't go any further anywhere, can I? Nah. Knew my patience would be rewarded. You can't beat me, video games. I'm annoying. Alright, well, now we don't have any music. I can make my own music. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Ba-da-da-dam. Bam, 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 bam. I'm so good at music, you guys. I'm definitely not just a punk for the aesthetics. I'm totally a music girly. You believe me, right, chat? Right, chat.
The buffoon is flummoxed.
Flummoxed? No, I would never be. Rom the Banished. Hello. How are you? Welcome in. Fellow VTuber. Nice. Nice. Well, I believe at this point I'm not getting anything. Hello. You assume that means what are you assuming, Drag? This game is such a trip. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it. Past few streams. It's only $25. How ultra deluxe can it be? Also playing Night Rain. Were you playing with Tipsy? And thank you for shouting out Moselle and shouting out Rom. Excuse me. How you doing, Moselle? I heard you were sleepy earlier. Although that is true of most people at most times, I would imagine. You have some days, but not right this time? Ah, okay, cool. Well, I believe we've hit a wall here.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Oh, I'm going to get you. Alright, I think at this point, the only things I haven't seen are all bucket related. Alright, let's duck
Stanley
it.
picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
When are you not sleepy?
Stanley clutched the
good
bucket
point.
tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Run.
Still no one was here.
You're
Stanley
following
needed
me?
the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was
That's
where he'd
rude.
find answers.
You can't follow me if I go in here. A bucket's
Stanley,
natural habitat.
Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
What?
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves
I'll
the
kill
bucket.
you. I'll kill you
Can
all.
you feel it now? It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies.
No.
Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand
My
over the
bucket.
bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is
My
your
bucket.
companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. Or We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
What?
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner?
No.
Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point.
I've killed
Share
the
your journal
bucket.
entries detailing
I've
the
used
rich
the bucket to
emotional
look at
landscape of
birds.
your feelings for the bucket,
I've
as
used
they have changed
the
and
bucket
evolved over the years.
to save the world. I got the bucket from a museum. Me and the bucket, best friends.
I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
Spicy room closet.
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion.
Sticker.
Take a hike, broom closet,
Take a
with all
hike.
your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Honestly, cringe. Honestly, cringe. Cringe.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate.
Oh,
See?
yeah.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Hell yeah.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, it's a bucket.
It's a bucket.
There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
You're so right. Question though, Mr. Narrator Man. How did you put this sticker underneath the sticker that was already on here?
What? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us a silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Childish. Churlish. Pathetic. Goodbye.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's use the escape tunnel this time, Bucket. Yeah, exactly,
Stepping into
Jag.
his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck.
So
Was
lucky.
it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
My bucket loves me very much. Meow. Alright, Bucket, let's go to the death tunnel.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Hey, Jova. How are you?
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
The bucket will
At
protect
this
me from
point,
death.
Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Have you been enjoying Dicey Dungeons? Let's fucking go. Let's go, Bucket. Narrator, do you not have anything to say?
As the machine whirred
Okay,
into
there you
motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to
No.
be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to
Just
himself.
put the bucket
and
on
he
my
sort
head
of
and I'll be
kicked
fine.
himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
I'd win.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
Which is hard, which
In
is
a
hard.
single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
I like that even the other narrator acknowledges the bucket. Yeah, I love you, second narrator. I enjoyed Dicey Dungeons, but it's a roguelike that I haven't 100%ed because some of the higher difficulty challenges are just so RNG heavy.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Where's my bucket? The bucket did die? No. No. Which was what defeated you? Yeah. You're a robot fella. You just gamble. Love robot. I think I got to at least challenge 3 on everyone. I got through challenge 4 and 5 on a couple of people. I got a lot of optional stuff, but I could not 100% it. Robot so good, beep boop. What a good beep boop skunk. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You're standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within in a cavernous void. But through the use of this exhibition in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learn here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness? Bucket, bucket, bucket.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own?
No.
Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see
He's
that
my
the
friend.
bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
Yes, the bucket is better than me, but it still loves me and we're still friends. Mini bucket picture. 25 buckets. I think... Alright, guys, hear me out. Who's trying to cuck me? The cucket. Alright, guys, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I think there are more than 25 buckets in this picture. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I think there's more than 25 buckets in this picture. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. Yeah, I think there's at least 30. If you had a penny for every time someone made this joke. There's a hole. Wait, is this where the infinity hole ended up? There's a passage up there as well. Interesting. Bucket with 2 handles. This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting it. They said it in writing. That's true. There are 25 buckets in that picture. I don't know. You guys here's what I'll make sure the whole picture's in frame. You guys take a screenshot and you get back to me when you know how many buckets are in the picture. Your headcanon every time someone tries to count the buckets, they can't get past 25 without consequences. That's true. That's true. I mean, the Euphoria will kill you. Inferno Bucket. A replica of the Inferno Bucket, which is the medieval era, was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one another for control of it. Billions died, and yet, in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. Let's go this way. The stress bucket, an analogy: worrying, negative forecasting, negative thinking, lack of reassurance. Put it in the bucket. Vulnerability equals size and strength of the bucket. Coping strategies equal holes. Rest and relaxation, doing something you enjoy. Rest and relaxation. Stress equals level of water in bucket. The stress bucket, presented without commentary. I appreciate that there are chairs around in case you really want to, take it all in. 602? Don't do it, chat. The Euphoria will kill you. I think Drag's making it up. I think Drag's lying. Oh, bucket. Oh no, there's a drip. What if bucket? Yeah. True. Cave drawing. While we know that the bucket predate... While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know for how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already been around for several millennia. I noticed in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures. Let's block that. Okay. Ooh. Never claimed you
No
counted
man
them.
can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
You do make a good point. However, I think he liked the stickers. The hanging bucket. Whoop. This piece symbolizes the necessary relationship between bucket and humanity. However clear our grasp of the bucket may be, there is yet more that is always out of reach. The distance inevitably is for its own good. You know what I love more than bucket, though, chat? More than bucket? I love the infinity hole. What? No! No, I want to go in the hole! I want to fall in the hole. No! I guess I'll content myself to take the bucket. I love you, bucket, but I wanted to fall in the hole.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
You got it, boss.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Glory to the bucket. But I wanted to fall in
Stanley
the hole.
decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought
true.
of total solitude was terrifying to him.
So true. Alright. Before... The stickers are still here.
The good
Yeah,
old bucket.
good old bucket.
Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together.
Yay. Alright. I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. The bucket will carry us to glory. It is a thing that a bucket can do. Hold on. Oh no. Geez, my cords are all wrapped up in each other. 1 second. I need a way to pin my controller cord out of the way. Did I get the achievement? Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah. It was a glorious moment. At this point, we have all the achievements except for wait for 10 years, play for a full Tuesday, and speedrun. CE? The common era? Alright, we could bring the bucket to the new content. That would help anything. Oh. Hello, Rom's cat. Let's take the bucket into the basement.
The bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What's your cat's name, Rom?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Didn't want to tell me, but the trophies were part of the requirement to get the epilogue. Ah. Yeah, it made sense that you had
But
to
Stanley
get everything.
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket.
What do you
in his
think,
arms.
Bucket?
Am I crazy?
Am I
He asked
crazy?
The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange,
That's
Stanley thought.
strange.
Usually the bucket
is a source of guidance and wisdom for me
in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
Bucket, what's
And that's
wrong?
when Stanley realized, this isn't my
This isn't
bucket.
my bucket.
It's just
a normal, everyday bucket.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps.
But
How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious!
Oh, gracious!
He exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've
Without
gone
my
truly
bucket,
mad.
I've gone truly
Where
mad.
is it? I
Where
must
is it?
find
I
it.
must find it.
Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
Monty.
The bucket!
Can't type on the PC.
He rushed forward
That's
from room
fine.
to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
My bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
I'll find you,
He
bucket.
had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Time to cut myself
It was
open.
incredibly painful. Stanley doubled
Blech.
over in agony and blacked out.
Blech. We all love you, Monty.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Hi again, Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled
wants
through
to
town,
migrate.
talking and screaming to
Fantastic.
himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought.
It's true.
And she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself.
My life kicks
kicks
ass. Hell
And
yeah.
she backflipped all the way to work.
Oh yeah. Man, I wish I was as cool as Mariella. Unfortunately, I don't have a bucket. I guess your cat's going to be playing Night Rain, Rom. Let's see.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright. What's left? We took the bucket to suicide, escape. We took the bucket and turned off the mind control. We took the bucket and turned on mind control. We took the bucket into the basement. Trying to think of all the possible routes. I haven't taken the bucket to the red and blue doors. And I don't think we've taken the bucket to the let's just grab the bucket.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
Oh, bucket.
Anywhere they went
You're
together
so lovable.
would be perfect. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Did you enter and not enter the boss's office yet? When the doors are closing, you can quickly get out? Oh, I have not done that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I have not done that
Stanley
with
had
or
felt
without
the
the
bucket
bucket.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yeah.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How in snow? Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
What?
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
We care about you, Stanley. It's my
You
wife
see,
and my
your
baby
friends
and
I
the
are
lion.
concerned for you, Stanley.
What's that?
We've come together here because we care about you very much.
In the broom closet.
It's this bucket you're
broom
carrying
closet?
around everywhere.
What?
The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
Yes.
We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I mean, I love the Adventure Line, but I also love the bucket. We can be polyamorous. We can be together. Did I ever unplug the ringing phone? Yeah, that's what I did the first time I found the phone. I haven't unplugged the phone with the bucket yet. Alright, line, let's go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who
Ah,
knows where it'll
assets.
go off to
Oh, yeah.
next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
It did.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is
Where's
all
my
about.
music?
Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's
I
as
don't
classic
remember
now
that.
as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
No, I refuse. My bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable.
Looks like the Line
True,
Destroyer
It
to
also was
me.
not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess
It's
what the Bucket
killed the
Destroyer
line.
does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket. and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
These textures keep popping.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket.
You killed the line.
Quickly now. The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
It killed the Adventure Line. It can't be trusted.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend.
Bye.
For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Bucket crushing defeat. The bucket destroyed the destroyer of buckets. It's ironic, and that makes it good.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
It could mean
Stanley
that
decided
I need
to go to the
bucket.
meeting room. A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Alright, time to feed my bucket to the Bucket Destroyer.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Alright, bucket. It's only fair.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet.
Whoa, look at
because
Wax's
that's
butt.
what fans want from a
We
sequel.
couldn't see that
They
before.
want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what... Whee! Look at that wagon line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Okie dokie, boss. Whatever
Don't
you
get it,
say.
Stanley. We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer.
Can you feed it? You can
I
find
think
a way
it'll make
to?
a wonderful
I
new
see.
addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original
We will
game, but
see.
it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you
Got
agree?
it, boss.
Can
Hello,
you
new
guess
friend.
what the Bucket Destroyer does?
He's
Surely you
killing
don't
the
need me to spell it
line.
out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Bye, bucket. Oh. It is having
now
trouble.
Listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket.
I'm
Quickly
trying,
now.
sir.
The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Tragic. I tried my best, but the bucket was too strong. Okay. Exactly. Oop. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Okay.
The embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his...
Making my
This
way
was not the correct
downtown,
way
way
to the meeting
downtown,
room.
downtown,
But Stanley
way
had felt the
downtown,
bucket
down.
calling to him,
Boopity,
telling him
boopity,
that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go
No,
back to the
I
meeting
don't
room.
do that. I go
No,
this way.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
A cargo
Okay.
lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Got it, bucket.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
No, I don't. I did a different thing. I'm powerful.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
Unless...
What if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness,
To a bucket
I
museum.
think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Well, my bucket has a sticker on it so that I know that it's a bucket. Oh, we get to watch a movie. You guys ready for
Now then,
movie time?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
You got it,
Simple enough,
boss.
right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Got it, boss.
Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Rude.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual
A
bucket.
3D printed recreation is the thing that it is.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Hooray. So it's no, no, yes.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely
it can hold liquids.
Incredible. Let's
And it's
just
made of
move
metal?
on to the next one. Is this a bucket?
Yeah.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Mm-hmm. No, no, yes, no, yes. Hold on.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No, yes, no, yes. Yes.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Both. We got it.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Yeah. You
Stanley, I
have
can't
metal
keep
in
doing
you
this.
and you can transport
I'm losing
liquid.
myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
No.
What
No.
happened? Is everything gone?
Yeah, because
Why did
everything's a
everything
bucket.
disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Uh-huh.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket?
Except for you.
Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
Of course.
Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Sounds good,
And
boss.
we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Funny information. This different? This is different.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Interesting. So we just immediately go to the doors?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Not exactly sure what's up with that.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Sometimes you just do that.
Stanley
You
and
know
the
what?
bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I think I saw, when I was checking out the achievements, I think I saw someone say that if you want to get the speedrun achievement, you should just keep restarting until it gives you the short hallway. I guess that's what they meant. Jova, do you know how hard the speedrun achievement is? Is it annoying? Alright. We're going to enter and then immediately exit.
Stepping...
Interesting. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Imagine a boss actually experiencing losses. They don't do that. Alright, I'm allowed to go down now. Allowed to go back. Interesting. Does this do anything else, or is it just if I back out of the boss's office, I can choose a new path? I can't take the other door, though. Interesting. What do you think about this, Bucket? Oh, new door. Not too bad, but it might take a bit, but it requires going through and ending beyond the boss's secure door multiple times. You are now leaving. Oh, that's nice. Escape pod for 760. Assume I can't take the elevator. Alright, 760 it is. I would put the escape pod. I would probably choose some other floors. Very dark. Probably look up somebody else's speedrun at some point. Do that. And I'll boot this up around midnight and leave it going. Ha. Escape pod launch bay. Is that here? I cannot see. Alright. I'm gonna assume it's in here. I just can't freaking see. There we go. I just needed to keep going. Eventually, you put in the code before he finishes his speech about the code, and do that enough times, he'll just say, he just says, okay, blah, blah, here, let me open it for you immediately when you enter. That's necessary to get it. Okay. All the narrator's lines has gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the escape pod. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Of course. The bucket's here with me. Escape pod. I love you, Bucket. You're going to be safe now. It's going to be okay. You are my child. And you will go and become the last son of office. Bye. Clearly, he was shushing the bucket and then gently wiping away its tears. It's true. I'll miss you, Bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, let's do it again, but this time without the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alright, and then we go In and out.
Stepping in.
I like to imagine that the narrator's still doing his narration. He's just a ways away. Wonder what would happen if I went into the basement after this, if that's got its own thing. Or if the basement is blocked off. Or if I jumped out the window. Nah, it's blocked. Okay. Making my way uptown. Climbing stairs. Excuse me. Waddling slow, I don't know if I'll make it. And I'm climbing. And it's tiring. It kind of rhymes. It assinates, and then it has a rhyme on the final syllable, so it's fine. It's close enough to a rhyme. You need to say assinates more. It's a fun word. Alright, this time I go in the rocket. Something else will happen? Oh. I kind of expected something would happen. Just kind of ends there. Okay. Big stretch. Alright, is there anything left that I haven't done? Let me think. I haven't unplugged the phone with the bucket. I think that's the only thing I have left.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Replacement bucket.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him.
Did I ride the elevator up and down?
The lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be...
I've gone into the elevator, but it didn't appear that it moved.
Correct? Was this better than the meeting? No, never mind.
So I have not done anything involving the elevator.
Stanley took the door
successfully, I guess.
to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Could also commit
The carpet
suicide with
lift,
the
yes.
bucket, but...
Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this
There's also
bucket
the
was speaking to
vent.
him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket
If I
asked.
answer the phone, it's life with the bucket, but I'm going to try and unplug it this time. Not the fake elevator? Oh, I do not know where the real elevator
here.
is.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
It's the service one you go to after you put in the code. Oh, okay.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Funniest thing I ever saw.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here.
My stickers are dented now. You're gonna go watch it.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Probably.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
It's not straight upward.
These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name.
Mivlia,
M-I-V-L-Y-A. Provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time.
M-I-V-L-Y-A.
With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny."
Let's good.
Practice screaming.
That's good.
"I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
Okay. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, who booted up Helldivers?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery.
You got it, boss.
Let's head back.
All right.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we have the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now?
The Office.
Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke.
Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
You definitely need a good funny voice. Mandatory. Doop. Boop-a-doop. 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 Excuse me. Alright, doors.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land, or not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
I mean, a fool's the type of joker.
I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
Oh, okay.
Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay, well, I guess the joke's just not going to work if we keep going right, so we'll go left.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yeah. Let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are.
That one doesn't work.
No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame?
I don't think that one works. Not really an expression people use.
Bucket. Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos.
More instructional videos. Sorry, Leroy. Okay. I think that at this point we have done pretty much all of the Stanley Parable that I can think of. So, Party Lincolns. Thank you all for coming out. I don't have a proper raid message yet, but I think I can make sure that we get one for the future. Punk Skunk raid. And we do a little copy and paste, and then I make sure that I post the thing into Firebot later. Well, oh, and I forgot to put socials back in. Man, I thought I was so cool, and I forgot like half the things I was supposed to put. Well, thank you all for coming out. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably not Stanley Parable. Well, actually, Stanley Parable might be on in the background, since I need to get that whole Tuesday achievement. That's all right. Stanley Parable can be on in the background. But we'll do something else in terms of streaming. I'm not sure what yet. I'll look at my options and let you guys know. Thank you for coming out. If you enjoyed, drop a follow, and I'll see you guys. Well, wait, hold on. We should decide who we're gonna raid. I wrote up a raid message, and then I was like, and that's it. Now, Mary is doing Doomsday Paradise. Yarn is doing Liza P. Oh, I haven't seen X Obsidian forever. They're doing something. Elie, Valeria, and Lucia are doing Keeper, which I think is like a Minecrafty game. I think that's doing something. Mischief's doing Monster Hunter Wilds. Yeah, let's go raid Mischief. Wow, she's got a lot of viewers right now. Awesome. The end of stream is never the end of stream is never the end of stream. I'm afraid you can't get me that easily. All right, Mischief. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye.